filming, O.J. said to me that he had a surprise for me, and I genuinely was surprised.
Just did you do it?
No, I didn't.
I think it was his idea of a joke.
Nope.
And this is it.
Did not do it. No, I didn't. Nope.
All right, nonverbal cues, verbal cues, psychological analysis, and body language of O.J. Simpson right here. Now, I had did some research on his brother. Despite the domestic violence allegations, there was no records of him having sociopathic traits, narcissistic traits, or psychopathic traits. I say that because it will explain why he did this stabbing prank on this woman right here. People who are sociopathic or have a psychopathic trait will tend to do this type of behavior. Now, shouts out to ReelBlack for having this nostalgia film of this interview with O.J. Simpson talking. Now, before I even play this, I will say this. O.J. is a very unique individual, and I say that because he's well known for football, of course, and for his acting role. So him being able to act, and on top of that, he's very charming, charismatic, will lead many people to say he's manipulative, he's hyper sane, and all other types of conclusions people will come up with. But for us, we are going to strategically go through this interview. It's not going to be fully for this video, but it's going to be a part 1 that we're doing right now. And we're going to break it down with the nonverbal cues, verbal cues, body language, overall psychological analysis. And we're going to be completely fair and do our due diligent research. Here we go.
OJ, before we start to unravel this bizarre odyssey that you have gone through, why are you doing this interview? Why did you agree to this interview under these circumstances?
Well,
This is not a nervous laugh. This is just a behavior habit that we tend to do before speaking, like saying or clearing our throat. So let's relax.
I think obviously it's well known that I've been wanting to talk for quite a while. When the case was over, I wanted to talk immediately. Unfortunately, I had some new lawyers, and I was involved in another litigation, a civil suit.
Now, I don't know if OJ had got this while he was growing up, or he had got this from his acting career, or this is just part of his personality. But OJ here tends to have a good skill with speaking as if he's telling a story. Now, when I say that, I don't mean by telling lies. It's just that the way he speaks, it gives a welcome to my world vibes.
They had some concerns because they hadn't really spent any time with me. They had a lot of concerns that anything I might say may be used against me, and not knowing me and not understanding how I see things and how I speak. And
we all tend to put emphasis on things that we say, especially when we're regurgitating it. Like, for instance, I'd be like, my mom said that this is not safe and we shouldn't be doing this. You know, we all tend to do that. That's a universal nonverbal cue right there for us.
Really not, even though they followed the case, not being totally up on the case, they were a little reluctant for me to speak at that time. So was most of my lawyers. They felt that they were a little reluctant for me to speak at that time. So was most of my lawyers. They felt that.
Okay, what we just witnessed here was a tone switch. We tend to do this subconsciously when we're trying to get into the depths of explaining something. More than likely it's true. Unless you're a high functional psychopath, then you will be doing the same thing. But more than likely, I believe he's not. So yeah.
That I was at a time where I was still coming down from an emotional, this emotional thing.
Are you doing this for the money too?
Oh, obviously. I spent a career collecting a certain wealth.
Were you coached? Were you coached at all on what to say here today?
Not at all. I think
this right here is a lie. He broke eye contact right after he answered that question.
One thing that my new lawyers found, once they sat down with me, and they did sit down with me, they did interview me, and in the course of firing questions that...
See, this is why I believe OJ is not a high functional psychopath, because even a 5th grader could lie better than this right here. He just had broke eye contact right after he lied, and then he did a boomerang effect by pretty much telling on himself. So here we go.
They felt pretty good about me as a client.
About letting you...
Dang, even the interviewer picked up on that bullshit.
Letting you go and talk and say it the way you want to say it.
Want to say things, yes.
Gotcha. Ladies and gentlemen, what we have here is a hand-to-mouth cue right here. A hand-to-mouth cue can result in an insecurity or lack of confidence?
I want to begin by talking about two very important moments, and both of them happened in the courtroom. One was the day you stood before Judge Lance Ito and you said that you were 100% not guilty. Now, ultimately, of course, the jury agreed with that, but the truth is that in the minds of millions of people around the world, you killed Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman. They believe that. That's their perception. And now, and because you had a lot of money and you had some innovative lawyers, you're going to get away with it.
All right, I'm going to need y'all help with this because at first I thought this was contempt until I looked it up, and it's supposed to be one part of your face, not both sides of your mouth. But I'm not sure when I look at this again, so I'm gonna leave this up to y'all. Let me know in the comments, contempt or sadness or something else. And we're gonna do part 2 next. Peace.